Hi guys, my name is Krysta and I am a boudoir photographer in Southern Illinois, right outside of St. Louis. And today marks 1 year since I went full time, since I started my business, since Beautifully Empowered Boudoir began. And so far, in 1 year's time, in my first full year of business, I have made $103,566.55. So that means that in my very first year of business, I officially have a six-figure business. Now, this is not to brag. This is something that I definitely did not expect to happen within my full year or within my first year. My original goals were to be able to do that within the first 2 years of business. So accomplishing that within the first year really surprised me. It was not a goal that I was pushing for very hard. Honestly, there has been quite a few months in this past year where I have literally had absolutely no clients. So the fact that I reached this goal already is honestly quite exciting, and it's just not something I expected. So since it is my 1 year anniversary, I thought I would do a little recap on what it's been like being full-time for a full year, maybe some things that I think attributed to being able to build a six-figure business within my first year of business. And I literally have taken no notes for this, so I'm gonna apologize in advance because I rant a lot. I'm very ranty, so I'm gonna try to keep it short and concise and useful for you guys. But let's just recap how the last year has been. So my business, when I first launched it, when I first went full-time, started off really strong. I had two $10,000 plus months in my first 3 months of business. Two of those were $10,000 plus. I was pushing really hard when I first started, which is why I did so well. And obviously my pricing contributes a lot to that. And that's something that is really important. If you're not priced correctly, it's going to be really hard to to create a six-figure business, especially within photography. But I'm going to go into that in a different video. But pricing definitely played a huge part in how I was able to build a six-figure business within my first full year of being full-time, even though, like I said, some months I literally didn't have clients. So yeah, after those first, couple of really good months, it kind of started going downhill. I got really stressed. A ton of my business is built around social media online, and I started getting worn down. I started getting tired. And this is something that I've constantly struggled with. I have prior experience being on social media. And so that has really, taken a toll on me because of my prior experience on here. And I won't go, it's not that deep or anything, but basically I had a YouTube channel before. It was too much and I ended up quitting. And that whole experience, this happened oh my God, how old am I now? It's probably happened 4 years ago at this point. Maybe, yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. And since then, social media has always just put a sour taste in my mouth. But because so much of my business is built on social media, it was really hard for me to maintain the engagement that I needed to run my business successfully. So my business kind of blew up when it first started, and then it just started going downhill, and that caused me to kind of sink into a very depressive state. I was really hard on myself. I hold myself probably to very high and probably slightly unobtainable standards, even for me. And when I don't meet those things, I'm just extremely hard on myself. And that lasted through, so October, I had some more bookings and I did pretty well. September, half of September into October, I did pretty decently. November, it started really dying down. December, completely dead. Didn't have any sessions. January, did I have a single? I think I had one session in January. And so come February, I told myself, no, wait. Come January, I told myself I need to like get my shit together. You know what I'm saying? So in January, I pushed really, really hard again. And I had the 2 best months I ever had. And I made in February and March, I made close to $17,000 each month. And like, my mind was blown. And right before, I did my second big push, I did raise my prices. So I've raised my prices like 3 times in the past year. I just raised my prices again. And that has obviously contributed to the amount of money that my business has made, because the more you can charge, the less clients you need to make certain monetary goals. So February and March, I pushed really hard, had the best months ever. And then April, May, and even June right now slowed down a ton, because in April, we bought a house. In May, I got married. In June, I was just coming back. And in June also, I had a lot of clients that had booked me at my less expensive prices that were just coming in June, like from last year, or from like fall of last year when they had booked. So these last 3 months have been quite a bit slower, not as slow as it was during like that first slow period, but quite a bit slower than, February and March. So despite all that, despite having many months that were very slow, despite all the times that I've literally cried because I felt like I wasn't doing good enough, like I wasn't working hard enough, my business has hit 6 figures. So it's really, really, really been a roller coaster. And there has been many times when I'm like, do I need to go back and get like a real job? Like, I don't know. Like I fortunately have not been put in a situation where where it comes to actual like money, like I'm on my last dollar, because I did save up money before I quit just to cover myself in those slow months. And despite the fact that some months were slower, my business has always been able to pay me enough to pay my bills. So yeah, it's honestly just been an emotional roller coaster, and I've been like this close to giving up quite a few times. But yeah, it's been a lot. I remember when I was sitting in the car after I handed my boss, my laptop, I sat in my car for like an hour and just like bawled. No, that's fighting. Bawled. I just cried. I cried so much because I felt like the life that I'm living now, me running my own business, me getting to do something that I'm passionate about, I didn't think that it was something that I was ever going to get the opportunity to do. So now that I'm living that life, I realize it's just so much more attainable than I thought it would be. And I realized probably one of the biggest things is just having the education to go out and start your business. I know when I first started, before I ran it as like a real business and I was just kind of doing it randomly, I was charging people like, I was basically paying them to go take their photo because I was charging so little. It cost me more to actually take their photo than what they were paying me. And I've also offered like prints and things like that now, which are things that I didn't offer before. So it's just been an entirely different experience than I thought it was going to be. So one of the biggest pros of running your own business is that you get to set your own hours. So I do not take any clients before 10 a.m. I don't want to do anything before 10 a.m. This whole like wake up at 6 a.m. entrepreneurial morning routine stuff, like I'm not about that life at all. And I think one of the things that I learned too, running your own business, is there's this, in the corporate world, there's definitely this idea like, oh, you have to work 40 hours a week. You're probably working more than 40 hours a week. There's this expectation that you have to work this much. And one of the things that I realized is that You do not have to work that much, okay? And I'm gonna be quite frank with you. I do not work that hard, okay? I understand social media, so I can use it to my advantages in that way. But in general, like, even if I'm doing like 3 clients a week, I'm still probably only working like 25 hours a week. Less if I have less than 3 clients. Like if I only have 2 or 1 client in a week, like I'm working 25 hours a week or less. And now I've gotten to the point where I have a virtual assistant and she handles all of my social media because, like I said, my social media was the pain point. It was something that was really hard for me. So she schedules out all my Facebook group posts, all my Instagram posts. She handles all of my emails. Like for my email list, she's like creating all of those emails for me. And it's so nice just having that burdened off of me, because I realized I was having the biggest detriment to my business was being consistent on social media. So paying somebody else to do that has been such a huge relief. I have 2 makeup artists that I work with. So originally I had a makeup artist that I work with. Then for a while I was doing client makeup myself. I am, professionally taught to do makeup and hair. So I was doing all of that and doing photo shoots. It's good to have that just in case, my makeup artist isn't available or something happens last minute. I'm still able to provide my client with, that full luxury service. But I much prefer for somebody else to do it. I'll tell you what. So yeah, this year has literally just been wild. I know this video and the video I made before that are really just me talking about my feelings. But I do plan on making more technical videos about how I run my business. My next video is going to be me renovating and building my dream boudoir studio, which has been I'll tell you what, it's been a freaking work in progress. And we'll see, hopefully, and I say this, and I know I probably shouldn't say this, but hopefully it'll be done this week. I just got 1 package that I was waiting for. I have 1 more package that I'm waiting for that's supposed to come on Sunday. Then after that, I should be able to complete the studio, because I've been working with like a half renovated studio for a while, doing renovations in between my clients, and it is exhausting. So hopefully the studio can be completed this weekend. But yeah, of course, I'm going to take you guys along with me on these journeys. I really want to get back into YouTube again and just providing useful content for people, because I feel like this is one thing that I wish I would have had. And I know boudoir is not a popular space here on YouTube. I literally know of 1 other boudoir photographer on YouTube, which is Michael Sasser. And if you're a boudoir photographer, I'm sure you've heard of him too. But I literally don't know of anybody else who's like really doing YouTube. And I just want to provide you guys with that information. And you guys can, watch me build my business, hopefully build your businesses too. I do have lots of plans for this YouTube channel and lots of good content that I'm going to be sharing with you guys about building a 6-figure business, because that's something I can say now. That's not something I ever thought I'd be able to say. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you do. Weekly videos? I'm gonna try. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.